Cronan Saga. The trip receding into the ether, Cronan staggered to his feet. He patted his chest again to make sure that the wound had indeed vanished. The room was quiet, save for the bird, Billy, flapping its wings, hopping, and cawing in Alex's direction.
Alex.
What was it like? Alex asked after some time.
What was what like?
Billy cocked his head in an avian manner and then pecked at the floor. You know, dying. We saw you get eaten by the demon. Billy Bird fluttered over to Alex.
It didn't really feel like much. It just felt like...
He paused to peck at a bit of dust.
It felt almost soothing, bro. I just want to do some tricks on my board.
It hopped back and forth on the ground. Alex looked at the bird, his brother, for a time. A pained expression slowly spread across his face. Billy Bird seemed to notice. It then craned its neck to see its feet.
Oh.
Alex extended his hand gingerly towards the bird. Twitching, Billy Bird hesitated, but then hopped on, clutching with his feet around Alex's thumb. The boy raised the bird to his eye. I'm sorry. I don't know how this happened, Billy, he began haltingly. But I'm going to get you back into your own body. I'm going to fix it. Billy regarded him with his black, beady eye.
I believe in you, bro.
Billy's feathers were glossy, black, and smooth. Alex rubbed his forearm across his eyes. Okay. He took a deep breath. Let's get started. Alex turned to Cronan. How can we get Billy back in his body? I cannot say, Cronan said solemnly. To do that, we will need a powerful magic and a powerful wizard. There are precious few who could do such magic, and fewer still whom I would trust. He looked at the boy and the bird perched on his hand. Perhaps if we can consult Judas Priest, he may know something. Alex nodded, remembering the name. But I have no way to contact him. Lei Feng spoke of a ring in the skull of another high demon, Hanatarash. Can you trust him? Cronan looked at Alex squarely. No, but I see no other way but to do what the old man asks in order to speak to Judas Priest again. I will seek out this demon. If you accompany me, perhaps you will find answers. But know this, peasant. Our path will be dangerous and bloody. Alex looked at Billy, at the old shop, at the remnants of the ceremony they had performed. He closed his eyes, willing everything to return to the way it was before. He opened them and looked at Cronan for a long while. He extended his hand. A whisper of a smile crossed Cronan's lips. Then tell me your name, boy, for you are now my companion, Cronan said, taking Alex's hand. Alex. He met Cronan's eye.
Let's go outside, said Billy Bird. I'd really like to see the sky and get some fresh air.
Okay, Billy. Alex pursed his lips and then nodded to himself.
I can feel something nearby.
Billy-Bird continued. Cronan looked sidelong at the bird. They stepped out into the cool night. It was a welcome contrast from the thick, musty air that weighed so heavily upon them in the shop. Still, the docks too were suffocating, choking them with a different kind of tension. Stacks of old shipping containers ominously creaked with the wind, with weight and with slow, rusting rot. Their footsteps clattered down empty streets. Alex was overtaken with the sensation that their movement would surely alert some malign entity. "What are we looking for?" he asked warily.
For it,
Billy-Bird replied. A beer bottle rolled.
I can hear it. I can hear it. I can hear it, bro.
Billy said over and over again. Cronan's eyes swept down each darkened alleyway, followed the broken glass adorning every sooty windowsill, and lingered in the black emptiness of the puddles, confirming again that there were no demon fangs ready to snap at his neck's nape. There was indeed an eerie evil in the air, though he had not found it yet. Perhaps the billy crow had lied. He flexed his muscles in apprehension, hunting for something out of place as he growled instinctively, lip curled, baring his teeth against imagined dangers. Alex followed, the crow perched awkwardly on his shoulder, its beady eyes darting from side to side, its head twisting, like it was keenly watching and listening for something only it could perceive. They heard it then, a woman's scream, panicked and horrible. Her fishnet stockings were already torn, her top askew, with blood trickling down from the corner of her mouth. She was wide-eyed, a cornered animal, frenzied and desperate, illuminated by only a faint red light.
Get off of me!
And they laughed. 5 men surrounded the woman. 2 pressed her up against a dark brick wall, their prey. She struggled. She scratched at them futilely. The fat man in the middle was already masturbating himself, muttering, yeah, under his breath. Another, what looked to be their leader, had a long beard and was waving around a pistol, cigarette dangling from his lip. Cronan reached for Riftblade and prepared to pounce. "Cronan, wait!" Alex said, quickly under his breath. Only Cronan's incredible balance allowed himself to pull back from the brink of his attack. "What is this hesitance, boy?" Cronan scowled. He has a gun. It can shoot you from a distance, like a..." Alex thought for a moment. Like an arrow. A magic arrow." Cronan growled at the mention of magic. Alex hunkered behind a trash can and signaled Cronan to get behind him. "I'll, think of something," he whispered. Let's do it! Give me the tape," said the thin man, holding the woman greedily. "Let's get jazzed and do it right." "You want to get jazzed again, Reg?" chuckled their leader. "We own you, bitch," leered the heavier of the 2 thugs holding the woman. He was swarthy, wearing a jean jacket with a faded insignia. He slammed her stomach with a knee, slumping the woman. "I'll kill you," she sputtered. "Like your old pimp got shit to say," said the other, his skin pallid and stretched too thin. He pushed his thumb into her mouth and tickled her throat with a switchblade. "There's a new crew in town, and you got what I want," he he said with ominous relish.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it, bro?
Called Billy abruptly. Hearing the voice, the thugs turned. Who the fuck is out there? Called the man wearing the leather coat.
Shit.
Alex hissed, gripping Billy. Alex froze, his heart beating sickeningly through his mouth. For a moment, he was paralyzed with fear. He looked down at Billy, still clasped in his hands. Though he had no weapon, he had faced death. And this was wrong. He shot a meaningful look to Cronan in the darkness behind him.
You let go of her!
Alex called as he began walking towards them. How small his voice sounded. The masturbating man turned and barked a laugh. You're in the wrong place, little guy, he said, still pleasuring himself. Get lost before we carve you up. Alex stumbled, but held his gaze.
You let her go!
He repeated, though no more confidently. The thugs cackled in response. Come on over here, then, the leader said, smiling, and make us. Cigarette smoke curled out from the corners of his lips. The threat was clear. Alex froze in the middle of the street as the insanity of it all washed over him. The fear that had spawned from his belly sprawled across his chest and crashed over his face. His lips quivered. He felt numb. He heard his own shallow breaths as sound filled the vacuum that fear left in his mind. The intimidating creak of leather as the man in the jacket turned to face him. The soft pucker of lips finishing a drag. Evil laughter tumbling out through teeth. And the woman's pathetic mews formed a sinister medley, punctuated only by the light, gravelly scrape of shaky footsteps, which Alex was surprised to find were his own. A beer bottle came flying out of the darkness and crashed at his feet, snapping Alex from his reverie. He stood for a moment, alone in the dark. He clenched his fists.
I'm...
Alex took another step towards the thugs, towards injustice, towards death. The leader's grin widened as Alex approached, his chuckle deepening. Hearing her, the derisive laughter, knowing the depth of evil that existed in the world, Alex began to feel something beyond the fear. A heat replaced the numbness. A rage began to boil. Yes, this was wrong. It was evil. And it disgusted him.
I'm... coming!
Alex's pace quickened, step after step. The thugs, laughing darkly, welcomed him, and Alex began to run. He felt it then, an electric tingle, a sudden surge of energy, galvanizing him, urging him onwards, like hell, like fuck, like shred. He began to sprint, his burnt-up skin reflecting red in the darkness.
I'm coming!
The leader raised his pistol lazily towards Alex, and then brought it down heavily on the charging boy's head, sending Alex to the ground, sprawling and concussed. The gang erupted into a rotten crop of laughter.
Oh, shit!
The leader nodded and twirled his hand in a knowing way, playing to his audience. He turned, doing a little dance, and leaned down. Yeah, that's right, you little fuck. He put his boot on the boy's neck.
Do it!
Yeah, get him. They jeered. He pressed down, twisting his boot. He smiled at the cry of pain it elicited. Now say goodbye. He raised his leg, ready to stomp on Alex's naked neck, but paused. Heavy thudding from the night's black void. Who the fuck is that? He pointed his pistol, in earnest now, at the hulking form that emerged from the darkness. The cigarette dropped from his mouth, and the color from his face. It was too large to be a man, too fast, like something out of a fever dream. He fired once, a crack in the dark, but the bullet deflected off a whirling form. Too fast for his brain to process, for his eyes to see themselves being cleaved apart, the edge of rift blade cutting just to the side of his nose, through his sinuses, splitting the brainstem, passing straight through the skull, and wedging itself deep in the thick steel of a dumpster across the street. For a moment, everyone simply looked at the man's head, slapping wetly against itself with reverberations of the impact. His corpse fell to its knees. The prostitute, sensing her chance, bit then and bit hard on the disgusting thumb violating her body. With a crunch, she felt the warm rush of salty iron fill her mouth as blood overflowed from her lips and poured down her belly. "You bitch! You fucking whore!" screamed the pale man as he, trying to free himself, jabbed her in the navel repeatedly with his switchblade. She let out a low wail as she slid down the wall, clutching her wound, thumb still clenched between her teeth. Cronan cannonball bolted into the fray as he extended his body, feet first and flying. Fully perpendicular, he connected with the swarthy thug's torso, who had only just turned to face him, separating it, sending it flying in a shred of skin and wet red. The thug's legs were left standing on their own, a grisly fountain of blood. Now's the time, boys. Let's get jazzed, called the panicking, half-naked gangbanger, his manhood shrinking. Quivering, he put on a set of headphones and removed a Walkman from his pocket. The thin man followed suit, albeit more clumsily, with only 9 digits.
Give me that!
Billy Bird swooped in from the darkness, clawing at the man with his talons, trying to wrench the Walkman away, but it was slick with blood and too heavy to lift. The thug swatted away the bird and pressed play. And he grew. Muscles suddenly bulging preposterously, oozing sweat, excreting liquid testosterone, squirting growth hormones from his pores. He was drenched in a gooey slime, his anatomy expanding in every dimension. He began to moan, ecstatically, demonically. You've got it coming now. Alex opened his eyes. Slowly, black pavement came into view. Wet, black pavement. His head was pounding. He heard the sounds of a struggle, but he wasn't sure from where. His brain oriented itself as his eyes crawled along the ground. Half unconsciously, they swept across a series of non sequiturs. A jean jacket. A knee bent at an unnatural angle. A chunk of protruding bone. Hair and shredded flesh. Only when he looked at his own red, wet palm did he finally realize what he was seeing. The leaking gore of a freshly hewn head. Alex gasped, trying to pull himself up.
Bro, it's okay. You're okay.
Cawed Billy Bird. He was nudging a cassette tape on the ground in front of him.
Here, I found this.
He tapped it with his beak. S-Jazz. S-Jazz. Alex muttered under his breath, looking at the cassette blearily. He could hear noise faintly oozing from the headphones.
What's that sound?
Asked Billy, transfixed. Alex reached slowly for the headphones, his eyes glistening, his hands moving on their own, as if possessed.
Cronan Saga.